Issue number 6. The Priesthood of the Believers. In Catholic theology, the priesthood is composed of the officials of the Church such as the Pope, the bishops, cardinals, priests, etc. The congregation is called the laity or laymen and are not viewed as priests. Thus a Catholic priest is a mediator between God and his people. The priest is to hear their confession of sin, and he is the one who forgives, absolves, them of sin and decides what works of penance they must perform. He is the one you must pay to get a suffering loved one out of purgatory. He can even sell you an indulgence or time off from suffering in purgatory if the price is right. At the Reformation, the Reformers revived the biblical doctrine of the priesthood of the believer. Once the common people understood this doctrine, the power of Rome was broken. The people realized that they were the church. They were priests. Christ was the only mediator between God and man. They should confess their sins to God alone. Only God can forgive sins. Purgatory was a myth. The 7 sacraments were a con game. Only God decides who goes into heaven or hell. The Catholic priests could no longer rule by fear and intimidation. The people rose up and drove them out of the church. This historic doctrine of the Reformation must be clearly emphasized today as one of the chief issues between Romanists and Christians. Basic theological definition. Under the New Covenant, every Christian is a priest of the Most High God, Isa 61 1-6, 1 Pet 2:5, 9, Revelation 1:6, 5:8, 9. All Christians have immediate access to God's presence through Christ and thus have no need for human priests or mediators. There is now only one high priest who is the mediator of the New Covenant, Jesus Christ our Lord, 1 Tim 2:5. The high priest and only mediator is Jesus Christ, Hebrew 2:17. All believers are priests and ministers of God, 1 Pet 2:5, 1 Tim 2:5. 2. The basic New Testament principle. All the privileges and responsibilities of the Old Testament priests now belong to all believers except those privileges and responsibilities fulfilled or abrogated by Christ or delegated to the officers of the New Testament Church or explicitly denied them by the New Testament itself. 3. The Old Testament priesthood. A. The privileges of being a priest. 1. Immediate access to God, 2 Chronicles 26:16-21. 2. Enjoying the dignity of the office, 2 Chronicles 26:16-21. 3. Exercising the authority of the office, Leviticus 13:18. B. The responsibilities of being a priest. 1. Offering up sacrifices, Leviticus 1-7. 2. Worshipping God, Hebrew 9:6. 3. Interceding on behalf of others, Leviticus 16:17. 4. Church discipline, N 13-18. 5. The ministry of the word, N 1-8. 6. Seeing to it that the ceremonies were properly observed, N 13-18. 4. The priesthood of the believer in the New Testament. A. Our privileges as priests. 1. Immediate access to God's presence, Matt 27:51, Hebrew 10:19-22. 2. Enjoying the dignity of our office, 1 Pet 2:5, 9. 3. Exercising our authority over A. Sin, Matt 16:19 cf John 20:23, Acts 8:20-23. B. Satan, LK 10:17, ROM 16:20, Acts 16:18. B. Our responsibilities as priests. 1. Offering up sacrifices to God. Spiritual not animal sacrifices, 1 Pet 2:5. A. The sacrifice of obedience, PSA 4:5. B. The sacrifice of thanksgiving, PSA 50:14, 23. C. The sacrifice of a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart, PSA 51:16-17. D. The sacrifice of our body and mind, ROM 12:1-2. E. The sacrifice of the people we win to Christ, ROM 15:16. F. The sacrifice of our gifts to support the gospel ministry, Philosophy 4:18. G. The sacrifice of praise and thanksgiving, Hebrew 13:15. H. The sacrifice of good works such as sharing with others in need, Hebrew 13:16. 2. Worshipping God, JN 4:23, 24, Philosophy 3:3. 3. Interceding for others, 1 Tim 2:1, James 5:16. 4. Church discipline, Matt 18:15-17, 1 Cor 5:4, 7, 11, 2 Thess 3:14, ROM 15:14. 5. The ministry of the word. A. To the unsaved, Matt 28:19, 20, Acts 8:4. B. To the saved, Colonel 3:16, ROM 14:19. 6. Participation in the New Testament sacraments. A. Baptism. Receiving, Acts 2:41. Giving, Acts 8:12, 36-38. B. Lord's Supper. Receiving, Acts 2:46, 27. Giving, Acts 2:46, 27. See the significance of our priesthood. It overthrows the Romish doctrines of prayers to the saints, and Mary, and the priest being our mediator before God. It establishes once and for all time the believer's right to read and interpret the Bible and to pray directly to God through Christ as the only mediator between God and man. Conclusion. The Reformation was not a mistake. It was not based on insignificant issues. The truths for which our Protestant fathers lived and died are just as important today as when they were first preached. While we love Roman Catholics and do not hold any personal animosity toward them, we must still say that their religion is not true according to the Bible. The only way for them or us or anyone to be saved is to trust in the person and work of Jesus as providing all that is necessary for our salvation. All other ground is sinking ground.